Gamer Dan, my man, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's things?
Oh, it's been a bit of a bummer in some ways. I just heard the creator of Dragon Ball, Hakura Toriyama, passed on to the next dimension.
I know, I
Yeah,
know. It comes for us all, but it's always painful.
yeah, I won't take off the shirt ever now. But just thinking of. But I mean, I may upgrade it to have him on the t-shirt. But
I've
hey,
s- I have seen some beautiful artwork and some lovely messages thanking him for everything he did. It, it's it's amazing to think how the global landscape is different thanks to that man alone. The
yeah,
conditions were right, were fertile to allow for anime to get across, but for a lot of us, a lot of people, Dragon Ball was their gateway. It was the first that really got us into anime and opened those doors.
amen. I mean to that, mate. I gotta say. Well, I mean, rest in peace. I, I just want to say to myself, he's in the next dimension. That's all I gotta
Of
say.
course, of
Yeah.
course. Dude has a place of prominence next to the Grand Kai.
Yes. Hope to see him one day, as Goku would say, until we meet again.
Until we meet again, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but he's not forgone, but not forgotten. His work will last forever. I just
Mm.
hope they treat the source material a little bit better. Last time he stepped down and someone else stepped in, we got Dragon Ball GT.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
Super. He set up Super. Apparently, I don't know. I can't confirm this, but apparently he had some stories noted down, some ideas for where he wanted to go. But
Oh,
he was famously, like a lot of mangakas, he played it fast and loose. So he was writing stories as they went. You
wow.
know, a famous story was actually the difference between the cell permutations.
Mm,
When he created Cell was supposed to be like a bio android monster,
mm.
but his editor said, "Oh no, it looks too much like a monster. It's too different. You have to make it look more human." So Cell began to absorb other androids and become look more human
Wow.
at his editor's behest. So we got but then again, Perfect Cell's perhaps my third favorite villain of all time.
Oh my
So
God, I didn't know that little fact.
now, yeah. Unfortunately, it's there are
Mm,
creating manga in
mhm,
Japan is just a cutthroat business. There's so many all fighting for attention. It is a fly-by-night operation. It is very, very like rapid. People are
mm.
producing stuff and then cleaning it up and then putting it out there in very short space of time. It's a famously brutal pastime. It lives and dies by passion alone.
It's amazing, isn't
But
it?
it does produce some amazing stuff. You get
Sure.
some stories that just spark little pure sparks of imagination and creativity straight off the brain onto the page and into the eyes of fans.
That's a topic to delve into another time, definitely.
Another
Yeah.
time, I think it would be nice is if we did a retrospective of our favorite DBZ ancillary materials, so
Yeah,
games
I'd
and
love that.
games and the like. So, what games really embody the true DBZ experience?
For sure, dude, for sure. Yeah, if Professor Suzuka's not back next week, I mean, unfortunately, she can't be here with us today to delve into Pokemon. But if she's not, man, I think we should give that a go. If
Hmm.
David, oops, Saja, I'll edit that. Saja is
Yeah, pleasure.
available again. I'm sure he'd like to jump in it too. He's a aficionado like us. So
Mm, that's
yeah, and
good.
in fact, I'm sure Professor Suzuka's got a word, can throw 2 pence in. He's
Ah,
also,
she's mentioned it before, but she's obviously more an RPG girl, so.
yeah. Yeah, that's it. And well, I think with that being said, in fact, let me just make timestamp that one moment where I mentioned you know whose name. 17. Okay. So as of now, everybody, we're jumping into Mr. Satoshi Tajiri's world, Pokemon, another legend. Speaking of these legends, yeah, definitely came a time we gotta do a retrospective on this. And yeah, our audience members have been starting to be a bit more vocal in terms of what they want from us. So
That's good.
I'll
That's good. Like I
compile
say,
that.
whatever what you want. I know that someone in the audience a while back made mention of the Hogwarts
It's
debacle because we briefly touched on some of the controversies around
yeah,
it. So that is something that's a bit in the background. It's on the
yeah,
whiteboard. We're working on it.
definitely.
But I would say we're talking
It's
about
coming.
the Pokemon Direct
Oh.
today. There's Pokemon Presents, and I will say, as a long-time fan, I mean, I played the very first generation, and I've played every incarnation of Pokemon since, every mainline game and some of the extras. I will say this is kind of a lackluster presents. Really
Mm,
kind of disappointed. It talks a lot about apps and it advances to ongoing games, which is kind of where the Pokemon company has pivoted. A lot more of their business is aimed at just grinding out microtransactions from children,
ah,
which I'm not happy about.
mm,
I am not happy about. I will admit it.
highs and lows, man. Definitely. It's funny. This industry, as it goes, is very. How to put it? Well, it's the games industry, you know. I mean, for goodness sake, it's after a while, people have to. When I guess what happens, Gamer Dan, is that I mean, if we don't want to go down the history lane, but history, I mean, memory lane, as we are running out a long time today, but um, the landscape changes often. You know, I mean, of course, we're in Japan. This is the gaming capital, as people say, and your game centers are still a thing. I mean,
Mm.
a lot more than in the West, at least. Um,
Absolutely, I
mm,
would completely agree there.
that being said, I mean, and Japan's got this kind of a time capsule vibe, in my opinion, in that even if you look at the commercials on TV, they have jingles. We don't really do
Mm.
jingles in the UK anymore. If you think about it,
No.
it's just some sort of special effects and whatever, maybe a famous song. But yeah, when it comes to the way the landscape changes in the gaming world, and people can get things for free, they have to kind of nickel and dime people how they can just to kind of keep the industry afloat. A bit like how Yamadan, what's the man's name? No, Guru Larry, his friend,
Mm.
what's his name? Whatever, his friend who did a video about the Yakuza kidnapping an employee from Sega,
Yes.
because yeah, they're
I
going
know.
to work for Nintendo. That blew my mind. But episode, but he was saying that the Yakuza used to keep our game centers, arcades afloat,
Oh
and
God,
but
yes.
by
They
beating
were.
people up, stopping them from stealing the money. Because at the end of the day, if they didn't do that, people would have just um, run roughshod over the whole industry. And I said it's not right that happened, but the industry would not have survived if you didn't have some goons twisting
Well,
people up.
it's like
But
most things in life. Nothing is ever one explanation. We
mhm,
live in an interconnected world, so there's always layers to things. There's lots of different things going on. It's never just one thing. But yes, Japan is a kind of time capsule because they are a very conservative nation. They're very territorial. They have a very strong sense of national identity, and they have done for a while now. And that's helped them preserve that sense of who they are. Many countries throughout history have had these. We're British. Britain, the result of the Hundred-Year War was essentially an abject failure. The point of the Hundred-Year War was to take the lands back that we thought was owed to us in France, which,
mm,
there's an argument there. But at the end of it, it created a solidified, crystalline version of what a British person was, what it meant to be English. And that led us into the Industrial Revolution, into more advanced times, and being able to go to other countries and say, no, we are this, and this is the correct way to do things. Now, what happened after, I'm not going to promote it. I'm certainly not saying it was a good thing, but
history is history.
Britain had it, yeah, history's history. It is a thing that happened, and it could have happened because we had that strong sense of identity. Japan, however, has got trying to keep it inside their own country. It's one thing that many other YouTubers have mentioned, especially people who live in Japan, that the
Mhm.
Japanese markets for media, for music, for products really don't try to push outside of the Japanese market. They really aim to conquer that market,
Yeah,
but that's the
absolutely.
limit. It's not often that they break out.
Mm,
Video games are an international industry, true, but there's a lot of games, a lot of brands, IP that just never makes it out. Hell, the Mother series, which became Earthbound,
yeah.
only one of them ever made it out. Dragon Quest, it's more popular than Final Fantasy in Japan.
Interesting, isn't
Final,
that? Isn't that?
yeah.
That's a good
But
game.
Pokemon's one of those things that really, really broke America. Once it got into America, it really made a name for itself, and I think that was a cross promotion. It wasn't
Yep.
just a good game. It was the anime concurrently released. It was kids
Exactly.
could go
Yep.
out, buy the game, and start watching the show. So they were seeing the Pokemon in action, like
That is
how
it.
the company was trying to present them. These are animals, yes, and we're dogfighting them. True, but they're also your friends. You're your
Yeah,
friends, you're your loved ones, they're your companions. It's building this relationship together,
it's
and
fantastic.
it was such a great marketing
Mm.
campaign that well, look at it. It's the biggest company, media company in the world. Yeah, it eclipses Star Wars, Star Trek,
Even Harry
the
Potter, I
big.
think.
Yeah, even Harry Potter. Yeah, no,
Mm.
nothing can touch Pokemon.
Nothing.
The only thing that could even come close would be Disney as an entire entity, or Nintendo itself.
Dude, this is the best speech. I think I'm gonna share this segment you to give. That is it. Nintendo actually has to go up against Nintendo and Pokemon by itself. Or
Yeah.
no, again, Disney right now is well, it's in the throes of let's say some changes. When it's got its ish together, if you will, it can be it's formidable force. But even that, Mickey Mouse ain't got nothing the whole of Pokemon as a whole right now in terms of Mickey's not still he's still an icon despite the Steamboat Willie being a public IP and public
I
thing right
know.
now.
I'm so happy. Oh God, I've been championing for this. I signed petitions and I yelled and screamed.
Did you? Oh.
Everything has to join everything needs to enter the public domain. It's only right, especially. I think Disney is a prime example of a company that built itself on the public IP, on publicly traded, on open source kind of stories. They're the stories that
Fair
made
point.
them big were part of the public domain. So the idea that they can't then contribute to that domain. They don't sit right.
Interesting.
But companies have had some interesting ways to get around it. I got to say, the estate
Mm.
of Sherlock
Disney does?
Holmes.
Oh.
The estate, the family that own the right to Sherlock Holmes have got
Mm.
a very novel legal loophole to keep Sherlock out of the public domain because they have technically it exists both within and outside the public domain. Some of the stories are public domain and some are not. And they've argued very aggressively and they've spent a lot of money to create that distinction, to ensure that certain versions of Sherlock are not publicly available. You have to pay licensing for that character. But if you want the original version, yes, you can have the original version. And the distinction is he a good person? That's the distinction. The original Sherlock's, he was an asshole.
Like
But
kind of Benedict Cumberbatch.
like Sherlock by Benedict Cumberbatch's one. His Sherlock, he's an asshole. He's all about the puzzle. He's all about the challenge. He's not a compassionate or caring person.
Yep.
The later Sherlocks had him be more open, more friendly, more affable.
Yeah.
That Sherlock is still technically owned by the estate of the original writer. So any versions of Sherlock that have him go out of his way and be compassionate, you're like, they had to pay for that.
Version, right?
Yeah,
Ian
exactly.
Yeah.
That one, and also Henry
like,
Cavill's version. Henry Cavill's in the more recent one, where he created a sister for him. Yeah, that one, I have no doubt that they had to pay royalties for that.
Interesting, dude. That is it, and yeah, it's iconic, man. I mean, this is great. It's a great discussion. Last thing I'll say, finally, when you mentioned the word conservative before, in that there's like a, it's people see things as very much a two-party system at the moment. But this, sometimes people, I mean, just like you're saying about Japan having to, even England, as you're saying, it's almost like when they're leaning on that identity and their traditions, if you will. I hate when I do that. Anyway, this is it. Inflection thing. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. When people have to lean on that side of things to try and preserve it, you have to subsidize it sometimes because you can't sustain itself sometimes. Again, like to try and maintain. Maybe like the social media companies, are very subsidized. You have to, if you want to keep something preserved, just like you're saying about the IPs and so on. When the market is demanding something else, but you want to keep that time capsule alive, it has to be subsidized. Now, in the case of Sega and the games industry earlier, come to the arcades and so on, well, I guess you're dealing with Yakuza subsidizing the whole place. When it comes to this right here, and the Pokemon Direct as we're coming to finally, presents, I should say. Yeah, when it comes to nickel and diming of gamers through apps, that seems to be a way to subsidize the actual Pokemon IP at the moment. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think it's a bad thing that free games are subsidized by nickel and dime. If you get a free game that they have every right to try and make a profit. You know, it's a game, it's a product. Then the company needs to pay their workers. That's fair. I have nothing wrong with that. Hell, I've got a bunch of free games on my phone as we speak, and I've been playing them for donkey's age. Blade Idol, just tile clickers and simple war games. Just things I could just play for a minute or two in between doing stuff. And it's free, but I gotta watch a lot of ads. Yeah, reasonable. That's fair.
Reasonable, yeah.
I'm not paying for the damn thing. I could pay and get ad free, but no, I don't. I'm comfortable watching the ads. That's
Deal.
okay with me. It's a paid product. That was when that's the thing that busted my balls. And maybe I'm just old world. Maybe I'm just the old guard, a bit of an OG.
That's a good one.
But I don't like the idea of having to pay in the game I bought.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm buying an extra material, DLCs, expansions, okay, yeah, I'm adding to that game. But I don't like the idea of needing to pay to play the game. I want to be able to play the game that I purchased. It's like if I bought a book, I don't get the last chapter. Oh yeah, you're gonna pay a little extra for that.
It's like buying your own arcade machine that you have to pay to play. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I bought the machine, but then some guy comes around the house once a week and just empties because I'm having to put more money in to play the damn thing. No,
yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you playing at, mate? So yeah, as I said, DLC. That's one thing. It's like if you want to get this extra stuff, that's
a new chapter, a spin-off, for a little bit more. I had a great meal. Excuse me, sir, I'd like some more. Yeah, I like that. But it is true. I love your analogy of an arcade machine that you have to keep putting coins into, because it's indicative of this business practice. Big companies are very loath to make changes. They find a model that works and they stick with it. And then anytime new technology or new social changes or anything new comes along, they browbeat it into an old shape. Gaming was that kind of nickel and dime thing. They put the initial investment into producing the game, and then they nickel and dime people constantly to play that game. Games have changed, but the business model has stayed the same.
Yeah,
they want the
that's
current spending, and that's what's going on. They want the mobile gaming style, the kind of keep paying to play. And it's just built on this old notion. No, it's not the entire industry. It's not the entire industry. There's a lot of great games and great companies out there that just like, hey, we'll make the product, we'll sell the product, and it's a good product, so it'll sell like gangbusters. Pal World is a great example. That game is beyond broken. It's an early access game, but it was something that people wanted, and people got it. People paid for it. Baldur's Gate 3. A solid game. That was produced over many years with a massive team. They worked damn hard to produce an amazing game, and all the accolades, Games of the Year awards, the money they raked in from that. It should be an indicative of how it's working and how so many of these live service games are crashing. Suicide Squad's all dead, and they've cancelled a bunch of these live service games that were coming out. There was going to be a Tomb Raider one. There was going to be what's the game where you're driving cars? Twisted Metal. Apparently there was going to be a Twisted Metal live service game, and honestly, I think that would work, because the premise of that is just a car racing thing, a death race car thing. That's built for live service, just another race, you know. Makes sense. And everyone who dies, well, yeah, you're in a death race, duh. So yeah, that I thought, you know what, that's an IP primed for that genre. Just don't take genres that don't belong there and try to cram it in. It's a strange time. I just think the industry is at a point where people who are dedicated fans, people who are in the industry, have been screaming these models that the big companies are pushing. It's not sustainable. They want unlimited growth, and then when they stopped getting growth because there was only so many gamers, they started nickel and diming to get more money out of them. And then now they started cutting back. They started cutting games out. They started canceling games. They started firing workers to create this illusion of perpetual growth, that the shareholders will keep making more. No, find a nice point and go, this is how much we can make with creating a good product to the same market. That's the cap. If we go over, that's a ban a year. Oh, take a bonus. Fine, you did very well, but don't expect it.
Yeah.
You would think that would be logical. There's only so many fish in the lake.
Yeah.
You can't keep fishing the damn lake. But
No, I see.
it
That's
is
the
what
way.
it is.
Yeah. Well, okay. Therefore, I'm going to jump right into the direct.
Yeah, let's jump into Pokemon.
Let's have a look at what these apps are that you mentioned. 3, 2. I haven't seen it, people, and Gamerdan has, so that's why. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Couldn't help myself.
Whoops! What the hell? Sorry for this green malarkey. And by the way, Gamerdan, tell me if the sound is too loud, too quiet. I'm gonna
Will do.
tweet a little bit that now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Right over here.
Perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey! I got a special place in my heart for Unknown. I love Unknown. My mate and I learned how to write it, and so we would write messages to each other in Unknown Pokemon.
Oh! I wish. Damn it! I got to see some of that Sanskrit, man.
That was a fond memory of when I was growing up.
Here we go, people.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokemon Day. This is the date that the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games were first released in Japan.
Okay.
Our adventures with Pokemon, which started with the simple fun of collecting, trading, and battling in the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games, have expanded to fit into so many facets of daily life, including walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create new ways to enjoy Pokemon, and we hope you'll continue your adventures with us.
All right, mate.
Today, we will be bringing you all the latest news about Pokemon, including our newest titles. Mr. Utsunomiya, please take it away.
Hello, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokemon Company. I hope everyone has enjoyed their adventures in the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games so far. To commemorate Pokemon Day,
Yeah,
we
largely.
found a series of Terra Raid battle events where you'll be able to face off against the mighty Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard.
Nice.
The first of these Terra Raid battle events will begin tomorrow. We hope you will all enjoy these raids.
I think I'm late to that.
Today, I'd also like to share the latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
All right. Give it to me. What you got? Go. Okay.
It's still going, still popular.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm really,
Well,
really
not
pleased.
nearly
that-
as much as it,
that
not as much as
original-
it used to be.
But still,
is on its way.
I'm really proud of the series having a good debut, at least in the
Yes,
Yeah.
that was nice. I know that people were excited for the new series, for a new series that's after Ash. But honestly, I was worried. Satoshi Ash was the face of Pokemon for a long time, and
Yep.
moving past him,
It's a bit like Akira as a Toyama situation.
So set
What
out
next?
on an adventure with your new friends.
Liko and Roy. Alright, you. Tell me why I should invest in you, kids. Alright. Wow. Snorlax. What's his
I'm
name
on
in
the
Japanese?
fence about this. I don't know.
Ah, Precious goodness. Oh, she's.
Yeah,
still-
we need Suzuki.
We need her. That's,
here.
why she's what? Anyway, what she comes next time? This looks pretty.
We'll say I am eyeballing this app. I don't. To be honest, is that I've tried sleep apps before, and I always forget to turn them on when I go to bed.
Wait a minute. What does it do exactly?
It's an app on your phone. You set it to monitor your sleep. So you turn it on when you go to bed, and then you turn it off when you get in the morning, and it registers how much sleep you're getting, and then it can give you some background kind of lulling music, or it shows you nice images to help relax you before sleep. And it's just a way of tracking that for you.
Okay.
But they've kind of gamified it, so the more you use it, the more information you give, the more rewards you get.
Is it to encourage health or something? What's the catch?
Yeah, it's gamification of a past of something, or
Okay, I'm curious about that one. I want to see.
I'm
people
stoked
use
for
it.
this guy.
Okay.
Oh, silver man.
I like the way that Pokemon, when as anime, Dragon Ball included, got more and more modern, and they start using more computers to make that animation. It looks some anime like Dragon Ball in particular looks less authentic. Like my mom is a huge Dragon Ball fan. She says she didn't like the new Dragon Balls because it's like it didn't feel gritty like the original stuff. But I like the way that Pokemon
Wait, pause.
Oh, yeah, I like the way
That's a white
Pokemon
screen.
kept it. Go on.
Yeah, it's interesting because if when you look at old anime, there was a certain quality, a certain visual signifier. The quality and the style of the art was all similar. It felt like it came from the. There were streams from the same source.
Mm,
It all felt like you all had their own twist on it, sure, but you knew it all was like artistically similar.
yeah.
But these days, man, it is all over the place. You get all kinds of different styles. Hey, yeah, some of the ones that reminiscent of the old one, but there's no more grainy filter on the screen. It's all very crisp.
Yeah.
And the art style, the facial movements. Personally, I'm a big fan of Trigger. It's overly
Yeah.
exaggerated. It's big. It's loud. It's bombastic. It's very colorful. Promare, Gurren Lagann, and even recently they've done the Delicious in the Dungeon, which so good.
Dude, that's it. You know, I think, like Vegeta says in Dragon Ball, a real champion doesn't run away from a challenge, but they rise to meet it. And I feel that way. Now, when it comes to these anime, excuse me, um, at first, I mean, I think sentiment that I shared with my mom when it comes to the first laying eyes on the new kind of Dragon Ball is it felt a bit sterilized at some point because again, like when you can see the effort put into the blood specs and everything and the impact of the attacks, it's really, I think my brother, he's a guy who's not even into cartoons so much, but what he said, Dragon Ball's one cartoon that made him that really, he said, effectively conveyed pain. And when somebody got hurt, he's like, "Oh man, that's nasty." Now, of course, there's other stuff like Akira and whatnot, but Dragon Ball in particular, as far as the show that came on Cartoon Network is concerned, I was really emotional about that. Oh my god, Vegeta's getting now again. This is you got a great story when a villain evokes sympathy, and because you created them well, they should have something you can empathize with, or at least. Now he's a horrible guy in my opinion. Well, I guess he's transformed, but he slayed a lot of innocent people, and even though
He
it's
was
a
a villain.
cartoon,
He was a
yeah.
villain.
Even though it's an animation, like one of my other brothers would say, I treat them like they're real characters, but that's how effective they were. And that being said, all that realism when it comes to when you just take something that works in its own way, or in its own style, and you just put it like it's a bit like taking a singer and just putting auto tune on their voice. You know when the auto tune craze started, it's like, but they haven't thought about how to sing to match it. It sounds
Yes.
like it seems it does a disservice to both. It makes the new technology look like it's just trying to water things down, but it also looks like the old guard is trying to fit in or keep up with the Joneses. But then you have Pokemon. I think Pokemon, on the other hand, is very good. That being said, I've only seen a few. I confess, I've not seen all of Super. It's been ages, and people have been saying to me, "What the hell are you waiting for?" And sometimes I drag my feet with some things. I'm like into one thing, and I get to it.
I've been there.
I'm gonna get there. But when I get
Dude,
to
you're talking to a man who still hasn't watched Breaking Bad.
join the club.
Honestly, it's a funny story. I didn't catch it when it first came out because I was in Japan and it didn't have a TV. So when it became popular, I remember hearing about it. Everyone talking about, "Oh my god, it's amazing! It's amazing! It's amazing!"
Mm.
And then by the time I actually got a TV and I had access to it, I was like, everyone loves this show.
Mm.
I haven't seen it, so I'm actually going to wait.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait because I want to watch it with someone. I want to sit and I want to watch it with them. And my mate said, "Oh, you could give that to your partner, your girlfriend, or a friend as a present. They can vicariously watch the show for the first time again."
That's what I
through
did.
You.
My wife, I said, let's watch Breaking Bad. Now she's not into it that much because she's not into gore so much. But that being said, I mean, as far as the gore is concerned,
I mean, it's not
it's not
overly
it's,
gory.
no, I mean, it shows you
it's
how
like,
sensitive she is. In that she, even though it's like, come on, there's worse stuff out there. But oh well. I was like, fine. So I put it off again. But I was watching. I was like, I love the guy. I love Malcolm in the Middle. I love the dad from the show. And I was like, this.
It's totally different, but his seminal act. It was amazing to see the depths of his range.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, but
That being said, yeah.
everyone's missed touchstones. But if you missed Super, they're still there. You can come back to it. I
I will.
caught it. You know, I started watching it near the end of the Universe of Power tournament. So I
Uh-huh.
just binged the earlier episodes and then just watched the entire Universe of Power, the Tournament of Power. That good. You know, I really
Fantastic.
enjoyed it. It was great, but I watched it in the Japanese, and Yeah,
All right, thanks.
fantastic.
So,
I've tried to keep up with what's going on now, but the anime is stopped because it was up to date, and then the new episodes, the new manga. I've tried to avoid watching it, tried to avoid reading it. Sorry,
all right,
just so that I can watch the show because Dragon Ball was an anime first for me.
right,
There's
right,
lots of
right.
shows I will happily read, but I want to watch it.
And
But
speaking
when
of
it comes to
which,
Pokemon, it
yeah,
has stood the test of time. Visually, it has changed. It's not uncommon to see that classic Pokemon was a little bit more stylish. It's certainly that the Pokemon look more like the anime than the original game. The original game they were more like animals,
yeah, of
but
course,
the
of course.
anime kind of put kind of a cutesy tone on them.
Hmm.
A great way of looking at this is if you those of you out there who are really interested in like the artistic direction of Pokemon, of how it's changed over time, Google manga Pokemon Adventures. Pokemon Adventures is a long running manga that ran concurrently alongside the games. So each game release, next like major bunch of chapters in a series, and previous characters from earliest games and seasons
Hmm.
appear in later volumes of the manga. But those earlier books are pretty brutal.
I think you showed it
No,
on this channel
yeah,
earlier, man. The
the
Ekans.
Pokemon die
Mm.
outright. It is like TKO. You're gone. It showed that these were aggressive, violent animals, and when a strong Pokemon was against a weak one, the weak one just got destroyed. It
Obliteration.
wasn't like, oh, I've been knocked out, I've been fainted. This is an animal eating another animal.
Oh, so it's like Digimon next level. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Digimon does.
it went more like Digimon because that was what was contemporarily going on at the time. This was what Pokemon outside of the anime looked like.
This is why they call them
But
monsters.
as the anime became more popular, it became less monster and more pocket friend.
Yep.
And then the later incarnations all lent into that, hey, cutesy, fun, build a friendship rather than, I'm training this monster to kick your ass.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about Japan. You know, Gandhi says if you know a country by how they treat their animals, there's a lot of that kind of using animals happening in Japan that makes you think, yeah, that's what now I can see why Pokemon came from here. No, I mean,
I like that quote, but there's a bunch of them. It's like, hey, you can judge a person by how they treat the server.
mm,
It's all
mm.
the same. It's like how a person treats someone weaker than them is a good, clear indication of their character.
Yeah, that being said, exactly. Everything you said tied in. And the last thing I'd like to say to tie it all together, nice bow on top, excuse me, is the one thing about Pokemon. The reason why I think that anime, like you said, has run concurrently and kept up to date with today's time, that still managing to be a great thing to look at and not looking like Dragon Ball, in my opinion, which is it's such its own story that the anime comes second, if that makes sense. That is to say, when that the way they're showing that they're fighting is on the anime is like the anime artists are saying, "Are we doing it right?" The story writers. Whereas Pokemon looks like the anime is on purpose, and it's like this looks like this very much from the beginning. We intended this to look this way, and I think this because it was a game, and because it is a game, and because of games is a game. Games and not a game, but a game series, is something that can not only reinvent itself, but just like you were saying before about adult material and military stuff, it's something that is always trying to be cutting edge, and it's therefore just the very story itself is trying to make sure that it keeps up with technology. So it's a very complete package, so it seems. Mm.
I don't disagree with you there. I think there's a real kernel of truth to it because you can tell in the earlier games, the first two, the story was just coming of age. It was a child stepping out into the world, learning about the great world, being dragged into the Team Rocket palaver, but that was largely ancillary. That wasn't the point of what you were doing. What you were doing was a personal coming of age story. But later games really delved into this. I mean, Black and White, N and looking at the ethics of whether keeping Pokemon is right. The villains took people who were fighting for Pokemon rights and perverted their cause for their own end.
Deep.
That's deeper than you would think for a Pokemon game. I mean, it's a pixelated, cute game on a handheld, and then there's some really deep questions of personal agency and whether enslaving these sentient creatures to help you.
Which is what I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah, that hit home. Yeah, that went a little bit deeper, and yeah, I think the Pokemon series has allowed itself, yes, to stay popular with kids because that's the target audience. They've always targeted the kids, but they've had some deeper concepts, and latest games really played with the ideas of that are relevant to them. Hell, the latest one, Scarlet and Violet, the villains of the series, the team, as they say, it's just a bunch of bullied kids who were banded together because they were bullied and started lashing out. So the goal is to meet them and kind of talk to them, connect with them, to
In the
kind
game.
of, hey, yeah, in the game,
That's
the actual
profound.
villains.
That's
You
profound.
yeah,
I
you
love
got
that.
that's and it was really good. It was
That's
good.
awesome.
You know,
That's kind of
clever.
stuff you leave just for a story to deal with. But the idea that you put that level of interpersonal skill requirement in a game makes it quite as beneficial as the Pokemon Sleep game. Something that
Oh,
is, you know,
obviously, it's been gamified. You use the game mechanics in order to do so, but you go there, you beat them at their own game, and then you can calm them down. But the thought's there. There's layers.
for sure,
So
for
it's
sure.
good. It's good.
Cool. Yeah, keep it going.
Moving on. You know, I've been eyeballing this Pokemon Cafe for a while now. I think it's just like a mini game thing.
It looks like it. Sorry.
It's just so damn cute. I mean, it's it's like,
This is an app, right?
yeah. It's a game you can download on your phone,
Yeah,
and
very
then
phony.
you match food
Not
in
phony,
the
but
cafe.
phony.
Yeah, there it is. On Switch and on Google Play or the App Store. And it's just like you just tapping things to make foods to feed.
It's such a
the
money machine, you
Pokemon.
know. I mean, it's like unfortunately, they say Star Wars. Unfortunately, with what's been happening, it was originally a money machine. It's technically in some regard it still is, but I guess it's become a bit divisive. Japan's very, like you said, conservative, very protective of their IP, and hopefully, I think if they keep things more preserved, a bit like what's happening in Final Fantasy and the Boob Gate, if you will. You know, Final Fantasy 7 remastered. If they go to hell with all the people trying to just get in the way of their original vision, just let the thing go about its business, it should keep being a money machine. Like you can put out stuff like these, and people will
Yeah,
buy.
it could, but sometimes they do it poorly, like Konami releasing gacha machines and pachinko machines, like literal gambling machines based on IP instead of actual games.
As you realize, it's like when a
Annoying.
pachinko machine is turned into
Moving
an
on.
arcade,
Please have a look
but
at
as
this
opposed to
video.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Which one came first?
What was this?
Oh yeah, pachinko machines were turned to arcades. and
Oh,
then-
this is like an app that is basically a card collector. You
clever.
you unlock classic Pokemon cards because that one and wait. Oh.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah.
I'll make a comment soon.
Some of these I remember. I had these cards. These were cards. That one. That is the original Pikachu.
Yeah,
that is
I got
Gen
it. Of
1
course.
Pikachu.
I got the whole. I had the whole. What happened to me? Unfortunately, got in the garage in my house in England. It got rained in. It just got ruined, and I just I had a breakdown. But
I mean,
but
they
it's a
look
classic.
great, but it's just, what do you do with it? Is it just like, oh, you download the app and then it periodically gives you a pack and then you trade with your friends and that's it? Or, of course, you have to keep buying the damn things.
You know, I won't pause it because I think it's for time. But I think when the Pokemon AR games came out in the first place, when you could put like not AR, the 3DS had the AR card, you put like a fishing game. I was thinking, for God's sake, somebody even developed this. I remember when I was in uni studying game development. Look at that. I'm saying somebody should make an AR recognizing device on your bloody Pokemon cards so that buying the card has another reason, as another purpose. I think if this can interact with your actual physical cards that you buy, then it's worth it. I think because it gives the cards another reason.
The first 3DSs came out with little AR packs where you had characters that you could see in the 3D camera, and the fact that the cards looks like they have like a bit of an art form, like a diorama you can look at. That's cute. It's just like a card game. It's a Pokemon trading card game on the phone.
But that being said, I just think, come on, they should. Sorry, I got to make this comment. What do you think, Gamer Dan? Do you think they should thingamajig? What am I saying? Give the it make it interact with your physical cards in some way? What do you think?
I think that the technology for the machine to recognize the card is done. We've had that since PlayStation 3.
Hmm.
You know, but it's miniaturized, it's in your phone, we can do that, that's no problem. And it would be cute to have like an ARG, to have like an augmented reality thing with Pokemon where you put the cards on the table and then you hold up your camera and then it adds layers. It's like it's like a handheld VR mat. It sees the table and it can give you extra information, and then you can make decisions or can maybe make plays on your phone and see what results come out, and then you make the play in the game. That's clever. There's a lot of options you can do with it. It's just developing the app. The more complex it is, the more complex the app has to be, and it needs to be profitable. This is the Pokemon trading card game is back. It's an app. We give you 2 packs a day for free, and you're going to get nothing. So you're going to have to buy more packs if you want the cards you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's a money spinner because people pay crazy money on those cards. I mean, at least for Pokemon Sword and Shield Battle.
Even to this day, I mean, people have been collecting since they first came out. But come on, look at the guys. Look at the guys who play Magic: The Gathering.
Right, that's a perfect example. I was thinking if there's going to be a tournament, I'm thinking you should be able to put your card on the table, bring your phone out, and then the whole screen can see like a battle going on. I mean, the whole stadium, I mean, the arena where you're playing this thing out. I mean, why not? It's like
E-games, e-sport it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see there definitely being a kind of a very visual e-sportification of the Pokemon trading card game. Really playing with that. It's just how are you going to make it more engaging for the people playing the game? Because you want to make the experience of playing as engaging as watching.
Yeah.
Gaming has always been great for the gamer, but watching people play wasn't so much fun.
Yeah, until the Wii
now,
until
later generations, it became a genuine concern. It's not just getting people to play, but especially with big multiplayer games and the esports style games, they bake in engines and mechanics into the game to allow for dynamic viewing. I mean, hell, in Overwatch, you had the MVP. It recorded clips and then showed things back at the end of every match.
Yep.
The best shot of the match or the play of the match. These were all for the passive viewers, for people watching the match.
Very good.
I think the tech is there, but it's making it work. Because I'd like to see a few beta tests first. I'd like to see a few smaller games play with the tech first. If Pokemon does it, it's going to take its time. It's going to be slow. It's going to be gradual. I think it could be there. Right, let's get right to the end, because the only thing I really, really want to talk about is at the very end of this video is the announcement of the new game.
Okay. We've got 7 minutes. Shall I let it play or shall I skip?
No, let it play. When we get there, we'll go.
Okay, sure.
Thing.
Oh, I can't hear a bloody word.
Just saw was
there
the
you go.
world's first look
Just
at
translated.
Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. This game lets you easily collect Pokemon cards, which players all over the world have enjoyed since they debuted in 1996, but in a new digital form.
How many years has that been?
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
As a 3-party collaboration
2 years
with
later.
Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon Trading Card game, and DNA are partners in the development of
30
Pokemon
years.
Masters Zero.
30.
To mark the launch of
Good
this
grief.
game,
Yeah.
here's a message
Amazing.
from Yuji Kitano.
Wow.
President and CEO.
Well, I've got to say,
Mr.
hopefully
Kitano, take it away.
Toriyama's feeling very, I'm sorry, Tojiri
Hello,
probably
everyone.
feeling great.
I'm Yuji Kitano.
I did it.
Creatures Inc.
Hmm.
I'd like to start by thanking everyone for enjoying the Pokemon Trading Card game. With Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, we hope to bring you all a new way to enjoy the Pokemon Trading Card game, so we are hard at work developing digital cards.
They're going to add new cards to it. As long as all the classic cards are there, I think most of the fans will be okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Dan, about the technology. I'm gonna hold on to that thought. But if I could work with Nintendo at some point on, I think it would be better than the VR headset. You know, the VR headset, like people watch you playing on PlayStation 4. I mean, I've been to my bro's house and he has a headset, and it really looks really great. I was thinking, what did the people say? But it's actually reflected on the TV, and I was like, okay, that's something. But I was thinking, if you had the card on the table and augmented reality was taken to project not only what is seen on your phone as a player, but to the screen for spectators, that could be like the next step of opening up what is hidden behind the camera, the visuals.
Yeah, we speculated about that on Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, play the card, then someone the battle plays out. Right, I'm gonna have to run to the
Here we go.
toilet.
Oh, no worries. All right, people. So is this for me? Oh, no worries. I'll keep them going. All right, people. So yeah, just as I was saying, with Game of Dan, I was wondering what you think. Because Game of Dan is, of course, it's got buckets of knowledge in terms of what has happened in the industry and why things have been happening in the industry. But personally, I'd love to see. I'd love to see what he was going to say about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'd love to see something in terms of a Pokemon trading card game augmented with AR. Now, again, it's established technology, years old now. But what do you think, people? Let us know in the comments. And also, what else can I say? I can say that I personally would love to work on such a project. And swing on by a good old Leave Luck to Heaven company, aka Nintendo. All right, now time for me to get a drink. Not, it's too early. Oh, sorry, I was gonna drink wine.
I heard drink.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man, you beat me to it. I was gonna have me either this or some Orion beer, but I'll do it next time. But Game of Dan, do you think about Yu-Gi-Oh before I press play?
Yeah, I remember the anime. The anime is the presentation is that the dual deck system is basically a VR. So they play the card game as they would at a normal table, but when they play the card, it creates a simulated version of that character on the screen, or the playing field, and then the computer creates a simulation of the battle, so it looks like they're playing with the monsters. And people for years have been saying, "Oh, imagine that with Pokemon cards." So two people on either side, they're playing the game. They can see the screen of the opponent's deck, but when they put it down, the audience sees just like an arena with characters appearing and fighting. And awesome. It would be fun. I mean, the idea of it kind of got used with the Pokemon fighting game. And then you were able to personally control the Pokemon, and it was a fighting game, and that's so much fun. That was a great game. Blastoise for the win.
Yeah. We're gonna go on that later. Sorry, I thought to gobble up your time, but that is I'm talking about that. Maybe Professor Zuko when she comes back.
Yeah, you're the fighting game guy. You can tell me whether the mechanics work.
Oh yeah,
I just thought it was fun.
Yeah. I'm very much a fighting game guy.
Of our latest efforts in the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Thank you so much.
It's like a Kung Fu movie with the dubbing. But
We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024.
Okay, now
Please look forward to more.
I know I've railed against it, but I'm gonna get it. The moment it comes out, I'm gonna download it and start collecting cards. I won't be able to help myself. I won't be able to help myself.
Yes,
I won't be able to.
In fact, I think I'll do this. Yeah, definitely I will. Even though I've got me an outdated phone at this point, but if it works, I can get it. Or if I get a new phone, ideally. There it goes. Alright, Mr. Unknown Sanskrit. These creatures are funny as hell. It's very creative, you know, because it's so simple. That's what I love about Japan's symbolism, if you will. The way they use icons and just make characters.
Yeah, it's cute.
Right, here we go.
This is it. This is what I've been looking forward to.
Game Freak. Only the titles stayed. Okay. Oh, unknown. Okay, that's
Urban redevelopment plan.
Oh, I see. I thought I was looking at unknown Sanskrit.
Nope.
Okay. That's interesting. Oh, now I know how to draw Pikachu more. Right. Geometrically. Gorgeous. Now, where's this leading us to? Apparently, there's actually a mouse called Pikachu in Australia somewhere.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
This looks gorgeous. I love it. Just waiting for the drop to say what the reveal is. Lucky you've seen this before. I've just got so much anticipation. Come on, Tell me what this is all about. Oh, that's fascinating. Come on, guys. Tell me. Tell me. University? It's funny, it's already got an S on the end, but it's called Legend Z. Oh, ZA.
Legend ZA.
So is it? So wait, what's this? No, this video ends at this point? No! Tell me about it. You can't do this to me.
Yeah, that's all we get so far.
Bastards!
Except for the fact that Mega Evolution is back.
Oh man, that was the end of the video. Crumbs. Wait, let me just make sure. It is. Bastards.
That's it. It's just a taster.
Taster.
But I'm gonna
What
say,
do you know about it?
I have been thinking about this ever since it dropped, and I've been watching videos by other people speculating. So the city is clearly Luminos City. It's the central city of the X and Y series. It was based on France, so it's Paris, and the center we see the Eiffel Tower. Now, around the same time period as the expansion in Japan that was the basis for the original Legends game, where they expanded into north of Japan and began to industrialize and urbanize that part of the world. Paris began an enormous reconstruction process where they knocked down whole blocks, they tore up buildings, and they rebuilt it to being arguably the center of Europe at the time. It was the hub for commerce, the hub for industry, business, for the arts, and they began construction of the Eiffel Tower. This is a game that's supposedly based solely in a single city. It is your contribution to the reconstruction of the city. But it's reconstructing the city now that the technology to create Pokeballs is available. In the first Legends game, it was basically they invented the Pokeball. Everyone was like, oh, they're monsters. And I'm like, yeah, but check this out. Catch. I can keep it as a friend now. And the idea of having Pokemon be allies, be kind of companions, was seeded in the first Legends game. Well, it's not unreasonable to think that technology would be so prevalent, so groundbreaking, that it would spread like wildfire across country to country. People would begin transporting it, begin showing other regions, begin teaching them how to do it. It would make it to other countries. It's like weaving or wine making. Once someone's able to figure this stuff out, it goes like gangbusters. Other cultures, other countries want this technology. So all of a sudden, the Kalos region has access to technology, is able to keep Pokemon as pets. So the original city that was designed for humans, well, it needs to be reconstructed, doesn't it? That's why the artwork in it was blue with lines, looks kind of neon, but I think that's just a representation of blueprints. Yeah. You're basically reconstructing the city to acclimate for both human and Pokemon. It's introducing Pokemon into the city.
So they're not captured creatures anymore. They're just living like.
No, it's a little bit of both. It's like, hey, they used to be native animals, but now they are companions. They're pets. They're friends. So it's turning the city to be Pokemon friendly. It's adding spaces that Pokemon can battle in and can move around in. Because you saw the river. It had a Dragonair, the second evolution of the Dragonite series. But it also had a Gyarados. So it needs space to accommodate smaller water Pokemon and larger ones. And then it needs wider roads to allow for, you saw two Pokemon fighting. Sword Guy and Nefia. So,
wow. Interesting.
I think that it's going to follow the same format as the first game, which is free roaming, free caching, but supposedly it's set all in the city. So you're going to catch all the Pokemon that are running wild and native around the area and put them to work creating the city.
Son of a gun, dude! I want to see it. Yeah, you pitched it well.
Right. So one Noggin of the YouTube channel Noggin He does a lot of Pokemon retrospective, and he highlighted that the name itself, it's Pokemon Legends. Okay, we know Pokemon Legends series. It has its own distinct style,
Mm.
but it's ZA, Pokemon ZA. Now, X and Y was the series that had this region, XYZ.
Mm.
But what's the A represent? Well, the Z is the ending of a chapter, and the A is the beginning of a new. It's the closing of one period of the city, and we are present. We're going to be pushing forward into a new age with the Pokemon.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love Mega Revolution. It's a great thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what this game could be, because I think the Legends is going to be a fine companion to the mainline Pokemon games. It turns out they're not going to change the mainline Pokemon games that much. It's just too entrenched, it's too well liked, and it's too profitable.
Yeah.
But the Legends is where they can really flex their chops and go, hey, we're going to give you a chance to live with the Pokemon. Not just catch them, not just battle gym leaders, but live alongside these things. And I like that. I really like that.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes. Next thing you hear, laws in Japan change with regards to animal welfare. The animals start living with people.
I say, if you want to change minds, get them when they're young.
Yeah, this is what the Pokemon's got the winning strategy for, formula for, I should say.
They've been spokespeople for environmental changes for a long time. So yeah, you see them all over the place. They recycle.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's not to whine at people. It just got me curious, like in terms of how much stuff in the UK, speaking to Mrs. that we take for granted. So when it comes to Japan, it's like it's not so prevalent here. So that's why I bring it up. But again, not a super campaign, but just to look at life in a different way. Hopefully, Zia will kind of illustrate the whole thing about living with Pokemon, and in a way that makes
I really hope they do. I hope they do. I like the idea of there being 2 or maybe even 3 concurrently running series. Like they've got the mainline series that's about coming of age, going out into the world of Pokemon, that region, and catching Pokemon, training Pokemon, and being the best battler / breeder. That's the ethos. Every game, no matter the story surrounding it, it's been about that journey. That works for me. Keep it up. Well done. But you can also have the Legends series, which are about points in history where change, about the more existence or alongside Pokemon. It's about helping people using Pokemon. And then I would like a far more aggressive, far more adult series, Give us a Pokemon Rocket, Let us be the bad guy,
Speaking of adult stuff, yeah, I mean, if
just give it a far more aggressively battle-orientated game. We can catch these Pokemon, we can train them, but we train them, and the fights are far more in depth. We're given a far more agency over strategies, of combinations, of combos. Use the Pokemon's abilities, natural abilities, along with trained skills to create combinations to outwit opponents. They played that up in the anime. They had, Pikachu learning the counter shield, using his own abilities. Hell, even in season 1, when he was up against Lieutenant Surge, we heard a Raichu. That Raichu had physically stronger, had bigger power capacity, but because he evolved it immediately, it never learned quick attack. It never learned agility. It never learned the speed-based moves that allowed Pikachu to win. So Pikachu was able to defeat his evolved form because he was able to play into his natural abilities. Let the gamer have a shot at that. I love Pokemon, but I get frustrated with them, with me only having to pick a select pool of attacks, and those attacks only work in a certain way. Let me change them. Let me tweak the attacks. Let me attack us. Let me aim an earthquake. Let me use counter shields or rapid spins.
That creative way of playing reminds me of. Oh, by the way, that Raichu that you described, is that like a rare candy evolution kind of boosted?
Yeah, Pikachu is evolved by stone. So it was when it was the first point in the series where they introduced the idea of evolution via object. Like it was the trainer's choice when to evolve, as opposed to the anime is often shown that it's the Pokemon's choice. The Pokemon evolves out of a need rather than, oh, I have leveled up to X point, now it's time to evolve. It's just a thing that they want to do. So it was highlighting that, here is the opportunity to evolve, but not at the Pokemon's behest, at the trainer's behest. And the conundrum, the crux of the episode was, does Ash want to evolve Pikachu?
It
Because
sounds
Pikachu,
like one of those
because he would be
crystal
stronger.
things. Yeah.
And
They say winners don't use drugs. Anyway, but that being said, yeah, dude. In conclusion, yeah. Oh, and also that creative way, that creative get from fighting mechanics. It reminds you of not Breath of the Wild. What's the sequel? Oh my god.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. You have the way that you can formulate, effectively craft your own weapons, right? With your souls.
Yes, exactly. This is something that could only come about with later technologies, with more recent games, and it just play into the side, gamer agency. We can do this. We can craft our own explanations. We can figure puzzles out on our own. Don't make a puzzle with a designated solution.
It's like
just give us a bunch of tools and say, do it yourself.
I love that. It's like the boss fights. It's like it's always very tongue in cheek in that you got this I'm fighting you, and I take a break and expose my weak point, and then I come to fight. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. So it's like
Let us use attacks out of sequence or out of their usual prescribed in methods to create weak points, to couch people out. Imagine if you're fighting a tough ground type, and you use not an electric attack to stun them, to knock them back, so then you can trip them up, revealing their underside. Make them create weakness. Don't exploit it.
It's a bit like these game companies that make FPS because they think it's going to sell. They just think, why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm thinking, I'd love at least two ways to win a boss fight rather than just the one. And it's just so, oh well. You're right, dude. So let's go. Sorry, I'm talking your ear off. Everybody, thank you so much for coming by. This has been a lovely chat, Gamer Dan. And 15. Well, this is 10:15. Gamer Dan next week. Can we expect any more game playthroughs?
I'm hoping so. Yeah, it's been a busy period. We're coming to the end of the school year, so I've been focusing on getting my kids. I'm a teacher for those of you long-running fans. Hey, I'm Professor Dan at school, and I'm Gamer Dan at home. All the while, I'm Japan Dan because I love Japan.
Yeah, likewise, man.
But the game, more gameplay reveals, more kind of gameplay videos will be coming out. I'm working on my Banjo-Kazooie videos, getting those nice and polished to a better quality, because the first one that I did wasn't too happy with. So later ones will be of a much better quality. And then we'll move on to Banjo-Tooie, which is, I haven't played that one, but played it a little bit, but I haven't finished it yet. So that's supposedly a much more difficult game, but we'll work our way through that. I've also made some videos on the Marvel's and Midnight Suns, a more modern kind of Marvel game. It's a bit like a card battler. You choose cards, which are your actions, and then you have to kind of roll the dice to get a better set of cards to make decent actions to try and outwit your opponents. Visually, it's fantastic. I mean, just really beautiful game. But I'm still early days in it, so whether the gameplay system will win me over, who's to say?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Gamer Dan. Well, catch you next time, and I'll keep in touch, and hopefully, Saj and Professor Suzuka will be able to, and me too, of course, be able to have a bit of a four-way gameathon at some point.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
I think. I say everyone who joins the channel loves games, loves different aspects of it, has different pools of knowledge, but we all come together because of a shared love of this. This is a medium we love, and we should play. That's why we're here.
Exactly. You said it, mate. Well, everybody, that's Gamer Dan for now. We'll catch you next time. Peace, mate.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah.